Hello, I am JD and you're listening to The Ongoing. In the last episode, we met an invisible wave. James Maxwell predicted it on paper using only mathematics, and Heinrich Hertz proved it was real by making a spark on one side of a room and watching a second spark answer it across the empty air. Hertz had made the first radio wave. To him, it was simply a beautiful way to prove Maxwell right. A wonder of the laboratory and nothing more. He had no idea what was coming. This is part 2 of radio waves, from spark to Wi-Fi. The story of how that quiet laboratory wave went out into the world and changed it completely. The person who took the next step was a young Italian named Guglielmo Marconi, barely 20 years old. At that time, sending a message over a distance already existed. It was the telegraph. But it had a hard limit. It needed a physical wire. A cable ran from one place to the next, over land, and the message could only travel where the wire went. Marconi saw that these invisible waves could do something the telegraph never could: carry a message through the open air, with no wires at all. But how do you actually send a message on a wave and catch it on the other end? First, how do you make the wave? Think back to part 1. You take an electric charge and you shake it very fast. That shaking throws off an electromagnetic wave racing outward at the speed of light. And a spark is one of the easiest ways to shake a charge like that. So Marconi used a simple switch, a telegraph key. Press it, a spark fires, and a radio wave rushes out into the air, the very same kind Hertz made. Let go and the wave stops. Press, wave on, release, wave off. And to catch it at the other end, he built an antenna. A wire raised into the air, waiting for the wave to arrive. Now, on and off by itself doesn't mean anything. You need a code. And one already existed from the telegraph. Morse code. In Morse code, every letter is a pattern of short and long signals. A short tap is a dot. A longer tap is a dash. String them together and you can spell out any letter. Marconi's idea was to take that same code and free it from the wire to send those same dots and dashes through the open air. Let's take the most famous example, the letter S. In Morse code, S is 3 dots. So, to send an S, Marconi pressed his key 3 times quickly. Dot, dot, dot. 3 short bursts of invisible wave thrown into the air. Far away at the other end, the antenna caught each burst, and a device turned it into a sound you could hear. Tap, tap, tap. 3 taps became 3 dots. 3 dots became the letter S. That is the whole idea. Marconi never sent the letter itself. He sent a pattern of invisible bursts, and the far side turned that pattern back into a letter. Information had crossed empty space with no wire at all. But sending a message across a room is one thing. Sending it across the world is another. And here, Marconi ran into a wall that would take him years to climb. The trouble was distance. Every signal he sent faded as it traveled. A few hundred meters and it was gone. So he fought for every kilometer. He built bigger transmitters. He raised his antennas higher and higher into the sky. And slowly, painfully, the distance crept up. A kilometer. Then many. Then across a stretch of open sea. Eventually, he set his sights on the impossible, sending a signal across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1901, on one side of the ocean, a transmitter tapped out the letter S over and over, dot, dot, dot. On the far side, more than 3,000 kilometers away, Marconi pressed a receiver to his ear, and through the static and the background noise, he heard it. 3 faint taps. The letter S had crossed the Atlantic with no wires, through empty air. The first time in history a message had crossed an ocean without a cable to carry it. And this quickly became something the world depended on. Ships at sea, once completely alone, could now call for help across open water, where no wire could ever reach. It was here that the most famous distress signal was born. SOS, a call for help, thrown through the air, bringing help across the sea. So Marconi had found a way to send messages on an electromagnetic wave. And once that was done, people began asking a bigger question. Could you send more than taps? Could you send a human voice? Many people worked on that problem, and they found a different approach. Instead of simply turning the wave on and off, they kept the wave flowing continuously and gently changed it to match the sound of a person's voice. As voice became louder, the wave changed with it. As your voice becomes softer, the wave changed again. In other words, the wave carried the pattern of your voice. Now, instead of carrying only dots and dashes, the same invisible wave could carry conversations and music. And none of this came easily. Getting from a few faint taps to a clear human voice took decades of hard and patient work. Many scientists, engineers, and inventors each solved one more difficult problem. Each carried the wave a little further than the last. And so radio was born. The first voice and music were transmitted over the air in 1906. By 1920, the first commercial radio stations were broadcasting. And within only a few years, hundreds of stations filled the air. For the first time in history, a single voice could reach millions of people at exactly the same moment. News, music, entertainment, education, all traveling invisibly through the air into homes around the world. And all of that ran on that shaping we talked about. Taking a wave and bending it to match a voice. That shaping has a name: modulation. And there were more than one way to do it. Some stations shaped the wave one way, others shaped it in a different way. We know those two ways by their names: AM radio, FM radio. And every station sending out one of these waves does it at its own frequency. How many times the wave rises and falls every single second? Take KCRW out of Santa Monica, 89.9 on the dial. That number means its wave is rising and falling 89.9 million times every single second. Tune your radio to that exact frequency and you catch that one wave out of every other wave filling the air at that very same moment. And many decades later, we took that same kind of electromagnetic wave and did something new with it again. We used it to build Wi-Fi and the cellular network that carry your phone. Different names, different frequencies, but the same wave doing the same trick. Now created and caught by machines far beyond anything Marconi could have dreamed. Marconi sent 3 taps by hand across an ocean. Now Wi-Fi and your phone send billions every second without you ever realizing it. And that is the thing worth sitting with. This wave began as an idea written on paper, with no use anyone could see. Then it was a spark inside a quiet laboratory. And through decades of engineering, persistence, and thousands of people solving one problem after another, it became one of the greatest communication technologies humanity has ever built. And right now, as you listen, those waves are passing through you, through the walls, through the air, through your own body. You can't see them, you can't feel them, but they are there. All of it from a single spark in a quiet laboratory more than 100 years ago. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. I am JD and this is The Ongoing.